Hey, hashtag SpeakEasy Podcast listeners. I am super excited to come to you with another episode of the hashtag SpeakEasy Podcast. This is going to be a great one because I'm going to tell you. So the name of Deb's book is Sell Like Jesus. That in itself made me so interested in having her as a guest. Then I started reading the book and just getting to know a little bit more about who she is. And I'm going to tell you, you need to get the book. But don't take my word for it. By the end of the episode, you'll want to get the book. With that being said, hey, Deb, go ahead and introduce yourself to the studio audience.
Hey, Altovise. Boy, it's so much fun to be here with you today, starting off a new year right. So I have been in sales, believe it or not, since I was 8. Yes. I used to sell stuff around the neighborhood just for fun. And I learned the thrill of earning money and then how to reinvest it and make more product and sell more without any kind of instruction. So I guess you might say I was born to sell.
I love that. Born to sell, which is crazy because most of us fear that selling, like, oh my goodness, when we hear of being a salesperson, it just, oh my God, it causes such anxiety inside of people because of what we have experienced when it comes to selling. And so let's start there. What do we do to kind of take away that anxiety, that fear, that pressure when it comes to selling?
Yeah, before I give an answer to that, I'm going to fess up and say, as a kid, I didn't know any different. But once I got educated and got a real job, I was also afraid to sell. And the reason why is because high pressure sales tactics had been introduced, I think it was in the 50s. So by the 70s, when I was in the job world, I was expected to sell by pressuring people, by convincing people that what I had was something they really needed. And I don't know about you, but that never set well with me. I did not want to force anybody into anything. It would be fine if they liked, enjoyed, and saw value in what I was selling, but I was not going to sell them just to hit quota, if you will. So I think that is where a lot of the icky feelings about sales comes in. We're not really taught how to connect with people as it relates to our products and services. And that connection needs to be designed to uncover what they really want, really need, and where there's a good fit with what we have. So if you do that discovery process, no convincing is needed. Now it's a collaboration, which completely changes the whole tone of selling.
I love that, the discovery process. And a lot of times that is one of the things that we do skip in the beginning of trying to build up this business is right. We'll get on the phone and we'll laugh and we'll joke and we'll have a good time. And then we haven't really found out what they really need or where they are in their process.
Yes. And you rightly say they've got a process. They're in the process of trying to figure out what they need to fix their current situation. So they've discovered they have a gap. They're doing research. They're pondering. They're looking at their budget. They're trying different avenues to see what's going to work best. And quite honestly, as a buyer, that is a daunting task. Even though we have the internet where we can do lots of research, of course, everything written on the internet and said on the airwaves is true, right?
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, no. And even when it's true in one circumstance, it's not true in every. So even our best knowledge at trying to make a good decision can fall flat, can cause trouble. So what would be best is to find a salesperson who understands, is caring enough to ask you, where are you in your process? What information are you lacking? What is it that you're ultimately trying to accomplish? What have you tried before? What do you absolutely not want to try? How have past solutions worked? Or have you never had a solution? These are all questions that can help uncover the deeper issues, the deeper needs. You hear all sorts of things about people buy what they want, not what they need. But ultimately, we're trying to fill a gap. And there is an ideal solution to fill that gap. So I want to come alongside you to help you find that, whether it's with me or someone else. And if it's not me, I have no problem referring you to other avenues, because my focus is your welfare, your benefit, not making the sale.
That part. And so that comes right in alignment with me asking the question, why sell like Jesus? Now, I personally understand it from so many different angles, but the studio audience may not all understand it. So why sell like Jesus?
Jesus communicated in a way that he brought together a small band of people who bought into his message that has carried on for over 2,000 years. Don't you think there might be something to the way he did it that brought the success? That's what I thought. So I researched the New Testament, looking specifically at conversations that Jesus held with the Pharisees, who he didn't get along real well with because he was questioning a lot of their methods, with his disciples who were close to him, with the crowds that came to hear his teachings. I looked at what he did and how he did it, and then applied it to sales and sales process. And it fits beautifully.
It does. It definitely does. And, again, this is a part of this journey as an entrepreneur. There are so many people that say that you just come in strong and you just make them buy and you should, but that doesn't work for everybody. And you said that earlier in this episode, was that every person is going to have their own individual process. They're going to be in a different place in their own journey. And so when you take the time to find out where they are, it is a value for you and a value for them as well. So now, in implementing the strategy that's in Sell Like Jesus, what has been your biggest moment of it works?
I think it's at the point of asking for the sale, because when you have the right kind of conversation, it's a discussion, it's a discovery process where I learn about the buyer learns about me and my product or service that I offer. And together we arrive at a place where it's time to make a decision. So as the seller, I'm a decision getter. As the buyer, you're the decision maker. So when I respect your decision-making ability, I'm just asking for you to share with me what you have decided. And I'll give this to your audience. Here is one of the best ways to do that without any pressure at all. Simply ask the person, now that we've had this discussion, what do you think the next step is?
That part.
When they are ready to buy, they'll say, I want to buy. How do we? Yep. Do you take check, Visa? When they still have questions, then they'll indicate, I still have some questions. Then we can re-engage in the conversations or set up another appointment to address those things. Or they may say, I have a partner, a spouse, a committee, an accountant that I need to run this past. At which point I can offer to help to do that. Or if they decide to do it on their own, then we set up a follow-up time to reconvene to hear what they've decided.
Most definitely. I
No
love
pressure.
that.
It's
I love
no
it.
pressure.
Exactly. Exactly. And as somebody who's had like 15 years in retail experience, when I tell y'all, this has been the way that I've been able to always have return customers with that
Yes.
15 years, is because even though the company themselves may say, I want you to do this as soon as they walk through the door. I want you to tell them about this sale. I want you to, that was never me. And you lose people when you come and you're like attacking them as soon as they come through the door. And a lot of times when it comes to us being on the phone with someone, we don't realize just being on the phone right now provides a lot of anxiety for people. It does.
Yeah.
It does. And so when you're immediately just coming at them with this, and this is what you need. This is, but you haven't had that conversation. It does shut them down. And a lot of times you have potentially shut down a client or a customer.
Yes.
Because you did not have that conversation the correct way. You didn't, something that one of the coaches that I've worked with, something that he says is, read the room. Have you read the room?
Get to know your audience.
Know your audience, exactly. This has been an amazing episode, you guys. It went by so fast too.
I know.
But I do want you to let them know, Deb, how they can reach out to you and find you online, and also where they can get a copy of Sell Like Jesus.
Yes, thank you. So my website is pretty simple, debbrownSales.com. And there you can find information on how to buy my book, my video training program. Also, there are a lot of free resources on my Learning Center page. So explore and please contact me. I will never sell you. I will listen. I will dialogue. And if together we decide it makes sense to move forward into a relationship, then you'll be the one who decides, and I will be happy to take you as a client. But I do not sell. So email me, set up a chat through my website, and we can just talk through if there's any way I can help put you on a better path to selling with confidence. That's what I want to do.
Guys, this has been an excellent episode. I want you to get this book. You understand now why this book was so powerful. And I've already started reading it and added it to my library. You definitely need to add it to yours as well. This is one of those episodes that you'll come back to kind of get that mojo back when it comes to doing sales, because we're in a different time, you guys, and things have definitely changed when it comes to sales. Being able to sell through online platforms and avenues has changed. And so you always want to get back to the core of what selling is.
Exactly. And good salespeople continue to learn and sharpen and hone skills, because when we get out there in the world and we get bombarded with the wrong kind of sales approaches, it kind of sneaks back in and infiltrates, and we find ourselves doing those things that we don't want to do. So Always good to go back to basics. Couldn't agree more, Altovise.
That part right there. Go back to basics. Y'all, this has been a great episode. I'm appreciative of each and every one of you. Let me know how this episode resonated with you by leaving us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Also, make sure that you message me over on Instagram at Altovise Unmuted. Let me know, your takeaways from this episode. Guys, keep on coming back. Thank you for sharing it out. We appreciate it. And until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.